Well, welcome to another Tuesday Live. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Welcome. And we had a great idea tonight to cover some things in regards to live streaming. So I hope you'll enjoy this conversation. I want to take a few minutes to just welcome everyone who is in the chat. And I don't see anybody in here yet, but it will happen here shortly. So it is Tuesday. We are live. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and we are going to talk about live streaming tonight. So if you have YouTube streamed before, then you're going to learn some things tonight, possibly because I'm going to talk about making still images, and we're going to kind of rebuild the one that I used here tonight. We're going to look at OBS and a countdown timer and talk about how I do a countdown timer. We are going to talk about how I bring the OBS videos into Adobe Premiere and do some final tweaking. And then I render those videos out in QuickTime. I have a PC, I don't have a Mac, so I have to render those for my HyperDeck. And by the way, the story is my new HyperDeck HD Plus is supposed to arrive today. So you know how that goes. If it's slated to come on a Tuesday, it usually comes Tuesday evening. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat tonight. So who knows when it's going to arrive. I didn't dare make tonight's live stream about the new HyperDeck, but we are going to have some videos hopefully up here on the channel very soon, an unboxing video once that arrives. So we're also going to talk about YouTube stills and how you bring them into YouTube. So if you already have a YouTube channel, then you can do this test that we're going to do tonight. So we're really going to kind of break down this whole idea of going live. I've talked a few weeks back about some of the steps that you have to go through, and you know, there's lots of little things you need to do. Obviously, you could go live without having an Atem. You could go live through OBS by using the Mac or a PC. There's lots of other software. You can even go live directly from your phone onto YouTube. So there's lots of ways to go live, but I'm talking tonight kind of how I go live here on the channel and want to break it down so that maybe it makes more sense for those of you that aren't live streaming, or maybe there's some tips and tricks you might learn tonight by just watching this video. So thank you for joining me live. Good to see you, Bill. I see you're on here. So looking forward to more people joining us tonight, Bill. If you're watching this live and you don't know if you're live or not, you need to hit the little live button down below. You can rewind and go forward, but if you'd like to join me for the Q&A, then make sure that you hit the live button and get caught up with the Q&A. So what I'd like to do tonight is we're going to, in just a second, we're going to go into SuperSource, and we're going to actually look at the first step, which I always go to every time I'm getting ready to go do a live stream, get it scheduled on YouTube. I'm going to go into an app called Adobe Illustrator. It's a part of the Adobe Suite, and I actually have a link in the notes tonight to the Adobe Suite. So if you have any questions, if you've already subscribed to Adobe, it's a monthly subscription, and you can get as many or all of their apps. And so it's kind of an interesting way to have software available for you. I've been using Adobe in the cloud now for a number of months, as well, actually probably for a couple of years. And then prior to that, it was on the PC mainly, but now it's a little bit more like a cloud type app. And so you subscribe to that, and then you have access to all of their tools. And so I want to look at those tools, but again, I want to let everybody know that the HyperDeck is supposed to be arriving today, and that is my HyperDeck Mini HD Plus, which is kind of the HyperDeck that's supposed to replace the HyperDeck Mini that I have now. And I'm probably going to keep both of them, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when the HyperDeck gets here. But tonight we're going to talk about your desire to go live, or maybe learn more a little bit about how I get ready to go live. And so let me just kind of break down a live tonight real quickly for you. And I start almost every week with a still image. I play music live right from my Rodecaster Pro. And that's just to make sure that I've got everything going live on YouTube. And so that's kind of gives me a couple minutes just to make sure there's no issues. The still image, once you upload it and you set the time, it's just going to be there. And as you get closer and closer to the live event, it's going to have a countdown clock. But then you need to go live from your studio with however you're going to stream, if that was OBS or if that was through an Atem Mini Pro, all the way up to the extreme ISO that I have here in my studio. You might have a web presenter you're going live on. The bottom line is you have to go live, and then you have to make the decision when you want to hit on air inside YouTube. And then when you're done with your stream, you're going to hit off air. So I go right up until about 7 minutes and 15 seconds before the scheduled time, which was 4 o'clock. And that's what I normally stream every Tuesday. And then I hit my intro video and it starts playing. It always has a few seconds before the clock starts ticking down. And that video plays. And then we do the whole live stream. Everything's done live unless I have a video footage that I'm showing you in the middle of the live stream. But like tonight, I am live, and pretty much everything I'm going to show you tonight is live with the exception of the still images that you already saw and the intro video as well as the outro video. Now, let me just say this. You can do your intro video. You could have a still image. You could bring a countdown clock in through one of your keys, right? And you could use that as a lower third and just have it counting down. Or you could place it anywhere you want it on your still image. I just like to pre-record my intro and my outro video. That way I have a little bit more time to kind of think through my list and what I want to cover for the live stream. So I play the intro video, then I cut to this camera shot right here. You saw the logo pop on, and then obviously I have a number of macros and stuff set tonight so I can change between this view and super source. And maybe you saw when we were on in the intro video, what I did put on the intro video is my Skycam, and my Skycam is in my key number 4 because my extreme ISO has 4 upstream keys. And so I just make sure it's still working right. Yeah, so I had this Skycam shot on right over the still image, and so you can see it there on the screen. And I'm recording the ISO tracks tonight, so that Skycam, as long as my Canon 5D Mark III stays on, it's going to record that. And I only really planned on using the Skycam right now and in the intro video, so we'll turn that off. So what I want to do right now is I want to go through steps that I normally go through getting ready for a live, and the first one is a still image. So let's cut to super source here. And so this is my Adobe Illustrator. It's already opened up. And I kind of took this still image right here and I broke it down into a test still image and took it all up, saved it because I built this one earlier today, took it all apart and put all the pieces here on the screen. So if I zoom out, hitting Control minus, and then you can see that I already have a 1920 by 1080 frame ready. And this is my background. So normally I would pull my background in and get it set up. So we're going to zoom back in here and want to make sure that it's situated in here right. Close enough for this demo. Then bring the graphic down. And then bring my photograph in. Bring this box in. Drop in the Tuesday Live logo. Bring these guys back in. So we're going to shift this photograph over until my logo shows. And then we'll bring these down just a little bit. There you go. And we're going to bring in the caption. Bring in the frame. And that's the outline. Bring in the test. And obviously this would be cleaned up if I was doing this still image, but I'm just trying to piece it together and show you that you can use Adobe Illustrator as one of the tools that you can use for making a still image. You could actually make a still image in Microsoft Word. You could make a still image in lots of different programs. I use Adobe Illustrator, and then I export this as a JPEG. And then one of the things to keep in mind is that you do want to, let me just save this real quick. When you're making a still image for video, it's really important that you set it up. So if I'm doing a new still image inside Adobe Illustrator, I'm going to click up here on this film and video choice. Then I'm going to hit 1920 by 1080p because that's what I'm streaming at. And that's also what the video is going to be at on YouTube. So this still image will go up on YouTube. And then I would give it a title right here, and then I would hit create, and that would open up the right size still image, and that's what I'm going to build to. So if I don't have the right size still image, then it's not going to translate correctly into YouTube when I go to upload it. Plus the resolution is really important. So let's just do this real quick. I'm going to go to export. So up to file to export. I'm going to export as, and then down here is where I can choose PNG. Let me make this just a little bit bigger. I can choose down here JPEG. I can choose BMP. I could choose PNG, but I want a JPEG. And then as I export this, and we're just going to go ahead and export it right here. I'm going to change the name of this to V2. And then I'm going to hit export. And then this window comes up. And I found out the hard way that the right resolution to be able to upload to YouTube is quality at 7, no higher. So I usually make 2 still images. I make one and crank it all the way up, and I call that high definition. And I use that for other things. But I also need one to upload to YouTube because I'm actually setting up a live. And so I set that at 7. And you can do that just by this slider. So if you're using Adobe Illustrator or some other program, it's going to be important that you make sure that you have a JPEG at the resolution that will be uploadable to YouTube. And if not, it just rejects it. It's quite frustrating until you learn this. And so I would hit OK. I'm not going to hit OK right now, but I just wanted to show you that option for a still image. So that would be step 1. Save that into a folder. Usually I create a folder called the day of the stream. So like today is August 31st, and it's the live stream. And then I'll make that folder, and then I put all of the assets inside that folder. So now what I want to do is go into OBS. So the next step that I would do to get ready for live stream is create a intro video. So the way I do that is I bring in my still. So here's my still image. It says test stream. And in OBS, what you're going to do is on the left-hand side, you're going to open up a scene. And I'm not going to do a complete demo on OBS, but I have put a link to a very, very good video. And I'll talk about this video a little bit later in OBS, but it's where I went to learn how to do a countdown timer and how to set that all up. And we're going to touch on that just a little bit tonight. So I have my still image loaded, and that still image is right here. So if I turn the little, so first off, scenes are on the left, and then you add what you're going to add to the scene right here under sources. So if I just clicked on this test, there's only a couple things in this scene, and that is microphones and my audio capture device. So if I wanted to add the still image to the scene, I'm going to click down here on the little plus button. I'm going to find the image choice, and then I'm going to name this still, and I'll just call this test, because I already have a still image. And there's choices down here too. So if you've already created a still image and you already have scenes, then you could just click on this add existing button, and then I can add any of these pre-existing items that I already have, but I want to show you how to do this. So go back up here to create new. I'm going to hit still test. So this gives you a little window open up, and then you're going to browse for your still image. So I'm going to browse for my still image, and I know where my folder is. So we'll come down here, go into August 31st, and go into this media section right here. Going to grab this still image, and there you go. So now I have the still image. Now I need to add a countdown clock to it. So if I wanted this to be live, when I go to record, I'm just going to hit the transition button right here. And now it's going to bring that over into the live window. That's the program window, very similar to the multi-view in your Atem Mini Pro, Pro ISO, Extreme ISO. So very similar, and this is OBS. Again, there's a link in the notes tonight. If you'd like to download this app, it is free, and it's a great tool for doing lots of things. You could actually stream from OBS if you wanted to, but if you own an Extreme ISO or even the Atem Pro ISO, you can stream directly from those devices, and that's what I'm doing tonight. So OBS is just really being a tool for me to be able to create graphics and do lots of things in prep for my live stream. So the next thing, we're going to go back to this and click another button here. And now we're going to go to the text icon, and I'm going to call this countdown timer. And then I'm going to choose the font Impact. It's just a nice thick font. It works really well for what we're doing tonight. And 256 is a little bit big for what I'm doing tonight, so I'm going to go 98. And it's going to populate up here. Let's see, countdown timer. And then what you're doing, once you have this set up, I'm going to turn it on here so you can see it. It says let go, and that's what I can type in here. The way you get this timer to actually be a timer and not just a regular text, what you do is you go up to Tools, and then under Tools, you go down here to Scripts, and then under Scripts, you're going to add this countdown LUA. Hit open, and then over here you have to tell it how long you want it to count down. I have 7 minutes. The text source is timer, countdown timer. I'm going to change this to, let's see, what did we call? Check this again here. Countdown timer. Let's do this one more time. Scripts. So I can change what it says here. If I want my timer to count down to 7 minutes and just say, we're starting now, I could change this to start now. I have it normally set to let's go, but let's just go ahead and hit this. And one thing you want to remember is you want to have this highlighted up here. Once you've loaded that script, you want to highlight it, and then you would close. And now I'm going to switch back over to this one. And what I do now is got the timer open, so I need to turn on that little eye icon. And again, it's only on the left side, so it doesn't show that it's going to be a countdown timer. But watch what happens when I hit transition. Try that again. Timer, countdown timer. Scripts. So hit transition again, and now it starts counting down. You got to make sure you apply the script to the right font, and then when you hit transition, it starts counting down. So what I do is let's count down timers, turn it off, and go back. And so what I'm going to normally do now is I'm going to go over here to record, so I can actually record in OBS, and it's going to record right to my hard drive. So I'm going to hit start recording. And then as soon as I hit start recording, I'm also going to hit play on my music on my Rodecaster Pro, or I can bring in my music inside Adobe Premiere, because I always bring in this recorded file into Adobe Premiere. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the countdown timer back on. I'm going to hit transition. And now I'm recording a countdown timer. I'm going to let that record all the way till it ends. And after it's done recording and it just sits on the still image for about 5 or 6 seconds, I'm going to hit stop recording. So I'm not going to make you sit here through a 7-minute recording. So I'm going to go ahead as if the timer was already done. So I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to hit transition, and then I'm going to hit stop recording. And now it's stopped recording. And then the way you deal with your recordings in OBS, and remember, once you get OBS opened, you need to make sure that you set it for 1080p, the right frames per second, and make sure that you're doing the right size video for your stream, because if you're going to stream at 1080p, you want to make sure that you're making an intro video at 1080p. So, and I stream at 29.96 seconds, frames per second. So that's what I do in these videos. So then you go up to File in the top left. You're going to click this Remix Recordings. And what that does is that takes this compressed file and it will uncompress it. So you go into this menu and you click on the dots in the middle. You go to that video I just created, which is right here. I'm going to click Open. So it loads it, and now I just hit this Remix button. It's done. I can clear these now. Close this window, and now I go back up to File. I go to Show Recordings, and now here is the recording I just did. It's an MP4 file, not one of the MKV files, which is the compressed files. Show that a little bit bigger. So right here is that video that I just created. So now what I normally do is I copy these and I bring those into Adobe Premiere. So let's close this. We're going to leave now OBS, because we've done everything in there. I could do music while I'm recording, or I can add music in Adobe Premiere. So let's open up Adobe Premiere now. And so here is some videos that I pre-recorded before tonight's live stream with this test on here. And so I can actually play this so that you can hear it. Let me turn, audio should be on here. So this is my intro video. And the countdown clock is going to start here in a second. So there you go. And I pre-recorded this one before tonight, but this would be an intro video that I would be using. And now I brought it into Adobe Premiere. And the main thing I'll do in Adobe Premiere is fix anything that didn't record just right. So I might drop the still image at the very end. I might adjust the music volume at the very end if I forgot to fade it out. But the biggest reason I bring these files into Adobe Premiere is because I need to export them as a QuickTime file. So I would go up here. So after I made the edit, so here is the intro video, and then here is the test outro video. And I did make some changes to this one. I added this little good night to the test stream spot. And then I had to open it up for Batman and Robin and cut out this area right here. And then it pops right back in. So you can see I can turn that layer off as well. And you're going to see that it doesn't say good night anymore. And that goes all the way to the end. And I've actually faded the music down here. So the last few seconds aren't going to have any audio. And that gives me the clue when I'm sitting here getting ready to end tonight's stream. I always have no audio, so I can hear that. And then once I know it's completely silent, then I'll go up into YouTube and my stream, and I'll hit end the stream. I do that first. I end the stream, and then I go up to my Atem Extreme ISO. And tonight I would be turning off on air, and I would be turning off recording because I am again recording ISO tracks tonight. So now that I have an outro video and an intro video, as I was saying, I bring them in Adobe because I need to export them as QuickTime files because I need to put those on my disk in my HyperDeck. So here's my little disk in my HyperDeck. So I delete the last week's videos, or I'll copy those into a folder if I want to keep them. And then I need to export 2 new videos on that disk. And we're not going to do that tonight because I'm using this disk for our outro video later tonight. So I do want to kind of go through these steps real quick. So I go up to File. I click on Export, Media. And then a second, this opens up. And then, so here's the video. I can take one last look at it real quick if I want to. I know that this is my outro video. So we go up here. It's already called outro. I have it set for QuickTime. And then I export at Apple ProRes 422 HQ. And that's what I have all of my video files, animated graphics, all of those things that go in my HyperDeck. I have them all at that same Apple ProRes. And then I want to make sure right here that it's the right frame size, 1920 by 1080 and 29.971 frames per second, which is the actual streaming that I'm using, as well as what I play on my HyperDeck. So I would then say this goes to my disk, and I don't have it in right now. So I could save this to a folder and then copy it to my HyperDeck disk. But usually I have my HyperDeck disk inside my my PC, so I can save right to that file. So once that's done, I then will test those videos in my HyperDeck. So that's step 1, which is making a still image. Step 2, which is making an intro video. And then I have to bring that into my Premiere Pro so that I can fix anything, make sure it's all good and ready to go. Then I export that onto my disk, and that goes into my HyperDeck for my live stream. And I always have an intro video with a countdown clock, and I always have an outro video with some, cool little things occasionally, like the Batman images and Robin, as well as I'll end with a still image, and I always have audio in it, but there's no countdown timer needed for an outro video. So that's that. So you import it to Premiere Pro, then you render it out to ProRes, and then you need to go into YouTube and get everything set up so that you can do a live stream. So let's look at that real quick, and then we're going to take a break for some questions, and then we'll finish up looking at a couple more steps Let me just look on here. Thanks for showing up, Freddie. It's good to see you. Stop and Think from Bluffton, South Carolina. Cool. We got Bill from Chicago. Freddie's from Venezuela. We've got Craig. I see you there too, Craig. So now, what I want to do is I want to take you guys through the steps, because once you have your still image, you can go ahead into your YouTube channel and you can set up your live stream. So here is a tip that I really know is an important tip, and that's this. You want to try to get that live stream set up ahead of time. Now, if you've been tuned into my channel, usually I'll do my live stream setup sometime on Tuesday. There's other streamers out there that do it 2 or 3 days early. I've done that before. The sooner you can get it up, when people visit your channel, then they can set it up, a reminder. And if you don't have it up, then it's hard for people to know you're going to be live. I'm live every Tuesday, so typically people know that have tuned in. But if you're trying to grow your live audience, which I do want to grow my live audience, then it's really important to get that set up ahead of time. A lot of times there's reasons why I wait till the very last minute. And one of those was, as I shared earlier, not knowing exactly when my new HyperDeck, Studio HD was going to arrive. So I really wanted to figure that out. Found out late yesterday that it was going to arrive today. And so I made the decision that I wasn't going to try to make that HyperDeck a part of tonight's live stream. So, I posted my still image and I got it all set up and I set it for 4 o'clock. So now let's kind of look at how that transpires. So let me go in here. And I'll bring this over into our show. Go up here to the very top. So this would be my channel. So if I was to go back here and just be in my channel, of course, I'm logged into my channel. I go up here to manage videos if I want to, and I can set up a live stream from there. Or I can just click right here on Create up on the top. Again, got to be logged into my channel. Make sure that you're logged in. Then hit this little button here and then click on Go Live. And we'll click that. We'll call this test. We're going to go down here. Then I'm just going to call this test. So I always change it to education. Right here is where I'd upload that thumbnail. There it is. Then you would want to go in here and set the time and the date. Not made for kids. You can select a playlist here. I'm not going to. Go over to visibility, which is on the top here. I'm going to make this private. And so you would make it public and you would set the time, and the time's down here under visibility. So we're not going to go live with this one, but let's just pretend that we are. We'll set it for the first. We'll set it for 4:35 p.m. Right now it's private, so it's not going to appear on my channel. Then I can make some customizations here if I want to change it from live chat to live chat replay. This is where you would set that you want your chat to replay when they play back your live event. And anyone can watch this. I could go just to subscribers. I could do slow mode, so I wanted to slow it down, which gives you a little bit of buffer. Again, under visibility, you would go public if you were going to set up a live stream. Again, I'm not going to, so I'm keeping it private. If you go back to details, not only do you have the ability to give it a name, you have the ability to give it a description, and this is where you would put in your links and all that stuff. And you can add these after you go live, or you can put them in. There is a chance that people may click on those prior to you going live if they go in there and read that. Change the kind of category, playlist. If you just want your live stream to appear on your page as a upcoming live and you don't want it in any of your playlists, then don't check these until after it goes live and you're done live streaming. Then you can go in and add playlists to your live. And I've done it both ways. Tonight, I actually added tonight's live stream to 2 of my playlists. And so it's your preference. Obviously, people are going to be clicking on that video if they're on your site and it's not live. So if you don't want them clicking on it, then, and you want them playing videos that are actually available on your channel, then you may not want to add it to your playlist until after it's gone live. So those are the main settings. Then if you go down to show more, you have the ability to allow automatic chapters. I don't enable that, but you could do that. You can actually, if this has got paid promotion, you would actually click on this does have paid promotion. Then here's all my tags. A lot of times I'll go in here and change the tags to whatever the topic is that night. And so tonight's stream actually has some extra tags. It has OBS in there. It has a lot of little tags that go along with tonight's live stream. And then you can go in here and set the location where you live. You can set the language. You can go up here and add captions if you wanted to, the type of license you're using. You can sort it right here. And you can also hold comments for review, which I do. If anything is questionable, it's going to hold it for review, and I monitor those on pretty much a day-by-day basis. I can actually enable this, show how many viewers like and dislike the stream. So I click that. And then, so obviously, after you've set up the details, the setup customization, you set up visibility, then you're going to click done. So once you click done, and we're gonna not be able to do this tonight, but once you click done, then it's gonna go populate on your page. So I'm gonna hit back here, exit this, and then what I want to do now is I want to go to my page. So if I go to my page, there's my live, and you have to create playlists for upcoming live streams, and you got to create a playlist for live streams. And then you're going to go into managing, customizing your channel, and you're going to want to pull those playlists all the way to the top of the page. And what that looks like is right here under Customize My Channel. So I can grab any one of these playlists and just drag them up. Now I have it drug up now so that live is first and upcoming streams was second. So once this is over and people have had a chance to watch the live, I'll put it in a playlist or a couple playlists, and then I'm going to pull these all the way back down to the very bottom of my playlist. So you could rearrange your page right from here. And that's another great feature that's available right here to stream. So now obviously once you set that up, you have your live event ready to go. You're going to have to copy the streaming key into your software. So let's do this now. I am going to make a quick change here and open up my Atem Mini Pro. So let's go connections, open up my Pro. And then I'm going to drag this over so you guys can see it. So this is my Pro, and I'm not streaming from it. I use it as a matrix. So I'm putting the program out of one of my HDMIs out from my extreme ISO. It goes into channel 1 in the Atem Mini Pro, and then I can now adjust the output. So the HDMI out goes to my monitors, and I can choose what I want my monitors inside my studio to see. And right now they're watching the program view, which is exactly what you're watching. So what you need to do now is up here under output, you would choose YouTube. You have all these choices now. You would choose YouTube. You can decide how fast your stream is going to be. So if you want to stream high or stream medium, I would recommend checking your speed and doing some tests. And then you're going to copy your key right here. And once you copy your key right there, it's now attached to that event. And so right before you hit that hour, if you set it for 4 o'clock like I did, you're going to go into your Atem, which would be my extreme, and it's live right now. You would hit go live, and then it's going to bring that image up in the software in YouTube, and you click on the go live button to be able to get in that live stream, and that's in the YouTube. So you go into your video icon, you click on your live stream, and there's a category for uploaded videos and a category for live videos. And you're obviously going to want to click on the live category. And then you're going to copy that key right here. And once you copy it here, you can click on air right here, or you can click on air on your Atem Mini Pro ISO, your extreme ISO. There's an on air button right there next to record if you have one of those 4 Atems. So you have to stream from the Atem Mini into OBS or something like that using the USB-C webcam. They do not have an encoder in an Atem Mini, and they don't have the ability to stream directly from an Atem Mini. You have to have an Atem Mini Pro or Atem Mini Pro ISO or the Atem Mini Extreme ISO, and then other big consoles will have the ability potentially to do certain things, but mainly the Atems have that encoder built into them. So, and then obviously if you're using a web presenter, then you're going to still have to copy your key in there. You still have to go live. So once you go live inside your Atem and you have a picture pop up in your YouTube video live stream, and that may be a few minutes before you're scheduled to go live, then you're going to have, once it gets a signal, you're going to have a go live button on the top of YouTube that you can click on. And that is this. Let's see if I can bring that up for you to see that. So right here is where you're going to see your live videos. And I'm already live on this, so I'm not going to click on it. But if you want to access this, you go in and get ready to set it up to go live. You're going to go right here under this little record icon. If you're just going in there to change some things, you would go in here and edit or click on details. But this is the button, and because I'm already live, I don't want to mess up this live stream. So I'm going to leave that be, but that's where you would go. And in there is where you're going to have the setup screen. And in another video down the road, I will do a demo on how you do that. But I wanted to kind of give you the steps tonight of how to get a still image ready, how to go in with that still image and create a countdown clock in OBS. Go from OBS, once that video has been remuxed, you copy that video, bring it into whatever your video editing software is. And again, if you're going to use the HyperDeck, if it's already a QuickTime file in the right format, then you don't have to bring it into Adobe Premiere. But I do, and I bring it in Adobe Premiere. I output it to a QuickTime file, bring that into my HyperDeck, and then I go in with that same still image I created that I used to create that intro video. I bring that still image into YouTube, create a live stream event, set the date and the time, and fill out all those little things that we covered, and then save it. And then I go into my YouTube channel and make sure that I have upcoming live streams playlist at the very top. and then the live stream itself, when they're live, playlist right above that. So when that video goes live, then it's the very top video inside my YouTube channel. And then later you can add playlists, or you can add them when you're setting it up. That's totally up to you and preference. And then once that's all set up, then you go in and you access it right here. And again, the live videos are going to be under live. Your upload videos are going to be under upload. So always remember that once you go in to manage your videos, you got to click on the live videos to find that next upcoming video. And then you can see my other lives that have already gone live. This is last week's where we talked about green screen. And so tonight we're live right there. So let me go back in here to my control software. Let's go back to this screen right here. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to go back into my Atem software and open up the right controller. So connections. And that's what's cool. You can literally connect to your Atem Extreme ISO, and you can then also go into the software and you could connect to your Pro. So if you wanted to make some adjustments to your Pro, you just can't have both of those opened in the control software at the same time. So that's kind of the steps, the still image. And then one of the things that you're going to also have to do, guys, when you're setting up a live stream, is set up your media pool, because now you have everything set up on YouTube, right? You have everything ready on your HyperDeck, but now you have to go into your media pool and you need to set up those files. Like if you're going to have a lower thirds, if you want to have your still image, you have to load that still image. So let's cut back to super source here real quick. I'm going to adjust this real quick here. Bring this over. And so here's my media pool for tonight. And so I have my still image right here. I have this as my background right now in Media Player 2 for the super source that you're seeing. So I wouldn't want to change that because the background would change right now live. Here's that sneaky image I used last week to pretend that I was live on camera 1, when in reality that still image was on behind me, and I keyed myself out, and everybody said that looked pretty good, had a green screen behind me. So go back and watch last week's video if you'd like to see that. And so I have everything in here that I need tonight, and you'll need to bring those files after you created them in Adobe Illustrator. The video that you created in Adobe Premiere obviously goes in your HyperDeck, but all the still images that you need for your live event needs to go in the media pool. And then the last step that I do once I have everything set up in my media pool, and I know this sounds like a lot of steps, and it is a lot of steps. What I do next is I go in and create macros. And so I'll open up my macros because they close anytime you switch controllers. And I'll bring those over so you can see them. So here's tonight's macros. I have my still image for my opening, my intro video, which auto rules my intro video from my HyperDeck and puts it in the program view. Then I can cut to the logo and my camera, and that's designed to cut right from the intro video. Then here's Super Source, which you can see is live right now. Then I created this one. I can cut from Super Source back to this macro. So we'll go ahead and run it right now. And it cuts back to this camera image. And so those macros give me the ability to automate things. And then I also have Mix Effect open inside my studio. Again, shout out to Atem who designed this. And this just gives me a little closer control over my macros. I can also change anything in the control software. So if I want to change cameras, I can do all that. But because I have my macros set up, I can just adjust the macros there. But if I was in Super Source and I wanted to fix something real quick, the Mix Effect is the easiest way to fix problems in Super Source because it has really intuitive controls, and so I could open up SuperSource and change things, but we're not going to do that tonight. I have done that in the past. So let's go back to SuperSource right here. So once you have this set up, then you're going to decide what you're going to do next. So I have my macros. So the next step for me is I'm going to create macros. And the way you create macros is you go into the create icon right here. This is for running macros, and this is for creating macros. And then you're actually going to record macros. And recording macros is not a simple process, but what you're going to do is you're going to basically do all the things that you would do if you were changing things in your control software live. You're going to do all of that and make sure that you're getting exactly what you want on the screen and it's in the program. And then you would stop recording that macro. Then obviously I test all of my macros. And so I kind of run through my show before I'm live just to make sure everything's working. And I still have had times where my macros didn't work. And that's one of the lessons that you learn when you're live streaming. So again, let's go back to that shot and let's look on here and see if you guys have any questions. So I got one more category I want to talk about just because I think if you want to go live, it's something you need to talk about. But that's the steps from the building the still image all the way up to me creating macros. And then at that point, I'm just going to open up YouTube, get ready to go live, make sure my streaming keys are right. I do a couple tests because, again, until you hit the go live button on YouTube, no one can see it. So I do a couple go live tests just to make sure that my Atem is sending the signal to my YouTube live event. And then when I'm ready to go live, I go live. So any questions tonight? Yeah, Freddie, I believe so. I think you could make a intro and outro video from DaVinci Resolve. Here's the deal. If you get a clock, right? If you can get a clock that's got transparency, which you could order online or get it through some of the sites online that give you the ability to download video files, you need a countdown timer that's the right length. Then you could obviously bring that into DaVinci Resolve as well as your still image. You could create all that stuff in DaVinci Resolve. You could create it in Final Cut. You could create it in Adobe Premiere. I just like to use OBS because the countdown timer is already in there. I can change the colors. I can change the outline. I can give it a transparency if I want. Again, it's just up to your preference. I do this one step in OBS because it's freeware, so is DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, Freddie, that would be perfectly okay to build it. You just want to make sure that you export it. If you're going to use your HyperDeck, then you want to export it in the right file format so that your HyperDeck can read it. And if you're not using that, there's other ways to play videos in your live streams. You could do it through OBS and bring OBS in through your desktop and then just have that as an input. I already have my desktop in one of the inputs. So I could make a live stream intro video in OBS and not record it. So I could literally use my desktop input, put that full screen, turn the countdown clock on when I want to, play music from my Rodecaster Pro into OBS, so that would be playing in my live stream. But I like to pre-record my intro and outro. It just gives me a chance to not be multitasking while we're waiting for the 7 minutes to get started. That way I can really focus in on what I want to talk about in the live stream. So I'm not messing with clocks or any of that stuff. Literally, I push a macro, it loads my still image, I hit go live, and when it's about 7 minutes and 15 seconds before the live hour, I hit the intro macro, which plays my intro video, and I can pretty well relax. I did add my Skycam tonight, and that just means I need to turn on my upstream key 4, And then when I was ready to turn it off, I just turned it off. So I did have to do that little step. And I did that just to add some pizzazz to the intro video so you guys could see me in here. I'm sitting at my desk. So great question, Freddie. Thanks for that. Any other questions, guys, tonight about live streaming? Maybe everybody that's live tonight already has all this sorted and figured out. But I did want to kind of cover my process, and I want to take a few more minutes for questions before I cover this last topic, which is super important when it comes to going live. And so if you're watching this, not pre-recorded, but you're watching this video and you have questions, please put those in the comments in the video, and I would be happy to answer those. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please subscribe. And then if you hit the like button, that helps promote the video and the channel. And if you hit the little bell icon, then you're going to be alerted anytime another video is added. And I would appreciate you being a part of this channel. And hopefully this is teaching you some things about going live. And I want to review a couple points before we get done tonight and share one more category. But let's see if there's any other live questions. Bill says, I used a timer in H2R graphics and run my intro into the Atem Mini Extreme and record the HDMI output from the Atem into my HyperDeck. Yeah, that's another solution. So Bill's got another way around, which is perfectly fine. So however you get it done, get it done. And you can record to the HyperDeck. So, and I'm sure, Bill, you set it for the file format that you know your HyperDeck will read. And so that's another way of doing it. I go the long route because I like to do some final touches in Adobe Premiere, and you're using HDR graphics clock. And again, that's John Barker, Here to Record tool. And so check that out on his channel. Again, John Barker on Here to Record, another amazing YouTuber and someone that I look up to here that I've learned from and grown from. So, and again, I have HDR graphics. I just haven't been using it. I also have Companion, but I've been kind of focusing on building macros and using mix effects. Now, the big advantage to Companion is you can do other automations besides just what's in an Atem. So that's why Aaron Parecki uses it, and he actually uses it on his iPad in his live streams. He has all of his Companion macros set up, and he can automate other things in his studio that have nothing to do with his Atem. Like if you have lights that can be controlled through your Stream Deck, then you can automate those. And there's other advantages to Companion besides that. So check out that app. It's a great app. Again, guys, sorry about the tickle. Been smoky outside. We've had fires almost all winter in the Northwest, and the smoke just comes blowing in and makes its way into the house as people are coming and going throughout the day, and the back door gets opened up for the dog, and then that smoke gets in the house, and both my wife and I just have been hammered by smoke these last 2 or 3 months. So I'm just wetting it. Hopefully that's not too irritating tonight. I should be able to mute this when I cough, huh? Yeah, Bill says a lot more flexibility. Doing it my way. But guys, again, find a way to do that. I just wanted to let you know that if you're going to do an intro video, then you need to have it pre-recorded. If you're going to play in your HyperDeck, you need to get it to your HyperDeck. How you get there, if you want to use OBS, you want to use DaVinci Resolve, you want to use HDR graphics clock, however you want to do that. These are some great ways. Hey, I guess it's Maston Park. Hey, Keith, whenever you get a chance, I want to know if you're going to invest in the Zoom ISO setup that Atem was demonstrating last week that you were in? Yeah, that is a great question. I appreciate you asking that. I think if you follow me much on my channel, you know that I want to learn these things, right? That's why I wanted to be a part of that live stream. Obviously, Atem invited me, and he also invited Tony, and it was a great stream to be a part of. I do have some friends that run live venues that are actually using the tools that Atem was talking about, and mainly that's just being able to add some outputs from your PC or your Macintosh. And so the way you do that, if you don't have a PC that you can put those cards in, right? I have a PC right here, literally, that I could add one of those cards to. I can't do that with my laptop. So if I was going to do that with my laptop, I would probably do it a little different way. Blackmagic Design has a device, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but you can go Thunderbolt out of your laptop, which I have Thunderbolt in my Asus Duo. I could come out to that device, and then it has two outputs out of the back of that. What I do like about the DeckLink card that Atem used is it's got a number of outputs, and that would give you more outputs. And so then what you're going to do is that you're going to come out of that. And if you watch that video, Atem breaks all that down quite thoroughly. And he's doing that because he wants to get these Zoom people in his live stream into his Atem Extreme. That's how you do it. You could also use two PCs, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I could set up my studio to do it that way because I do have a PC, which I'm actually monitoring the live stream from. So my PC is just monitoring the live stream. And then my other one is what I've been demoing all of these different tools. So from OBS to the control software to Adobe Premiere to Adobe Illustrator, all that was on my PC. And I'm coming out of the HDMI out into input number 4. And that would give me one person. And I've used that with Atem. I've used him through Zoom. I've used him from Video Ninja. We've done it both ways. I've had challenges both ways. And what he's doing is he's bringing those from his DeckLink card and assigning them to that output. And then those outputs come into his Atem Mini Extreme. And you saw it work. He had some issues with audio. So obviously your guests need to make sure they're giving you the right synced audio. And he and I talked about that after the live stream. But as of right now, I'm not planning on doing that. I know that's a long answer. I am looking into it. I do have friends that are using it. One friend particular, I'd like to go up and just visit his live studio for his venue and then take a look at it, play with it. He's going from a Macintosh to do that, and he can assign whatever he wants from that Macintosh out into his live. The big advantage of that, let me say this as well, is that there's lots of software out there that you can create really nice lower thirds graphics, animated graphics. You could play animated graphics from your PC or your Mac and then output the alpha channel and the key channel then into your Atem. I have a HyperDeck, so I can do animated graphics. I can do my intro videos. And now I'm going to have two HyperDecks, my old HyperDeck Mini and my new HyperDeck HD Plus. So that gives me another option if I want to bring in animations into my studio. So I could have one to do an animated bug, and I could have the other one do an animated background for SuperSource or another fly-in graphics. So I'm probably going to go that route and still create those files in those HyperDecks. But we'll see. So I don't know if that answers your question, but one day I probably will decide to add something like that just because people out there want to know more about it. So any other questions before I talk about this last topic? Just going to wait a second here to see if there's any questions. Okay, so the last topic I'm going to talk about is obviously the camera, right? So you have to decide how you're going to live stream. If you want to go live, you can use a webcam. If you wanted to, that would have to come through your PC. If you're going to get an Atem or a web presenter from Blackmagic Design or a YOLO box, obviously the YOLO box is quite an interesting tool. They have the old version and the new Pro version. The Pro version adds some new features. You can learn about the YOLO box on a number of the channels that I've talked about. I know that you can learn about the YOLO box over on Here to Record on Aaron Parecki's channel, and there's lots of other people out there that you can learn from. But the bottom line is, whatever you're going to use, you have to make sure that you get that camera adjusted. You need to adjust lights. You have your room to set up. So the things I want to say to wrap this up when you go live is obviously the camera you use and the quality you're going to use is going to be important. The light on you is going to be important. If you're going to use a green screen, I talked about that last week. You still need to light the green screen, believe it or not. You can't just put a green screen behind you and not light it. And you don't want to get it too close to you, or the green on the green screen will bleed through. Especially like these lights that I have, they could bounce off the green screen and then light me up and give me a green cast, which if you've ever seen green screen done wrong, you'll see people have a kind of a green halo. So you want to make sure you have good light on you. So you want to have a key light, you want to have a fill light, and you really want to have a hair light to really kind of separate you from the background. And then what's behind you is important too. And you can see that I have little lights to light up the wall right there. I have lights on my shelf back there. I have this light. I have lights that are on the bottom of the window seal. Those are LEDs. And then I have the lights in the very background of my stream, and they light up the wall as well. And then I have my TV on because it's there, and I just want to put something there so it fills the background. If it wasn't on, then it would just be a big black square, and I don't want a big black square behind me. So also audio. So I'm using the Rodecaster Pro as just my audio device. So it's actually an audio device, so I could record voiceover right through this microphone into Adobe Premiere if I'm doing a voiceover project for someone. So I can use it to have a guest call in if I just wanted to have a guest via the call-in channel. I can literally hook up my phone and take a call and bring that on the air and just put a still image up. So if I just want them to be on audio, then I could do it that way, or I could bring them in through OBS, or I could bring them in through Video Ninja, and then obviously having to use my PC through an input on my Atem. A little more. So lighting, audio, and there's lots of microphones out there. I'm actually using the Shure SM7B. I bought this for voiceover because I do commercials for people. I've done voiceover for projects. I like the sound of this microphone. I like what I get from it. So that's when I'm using it. I have other microphones. I have a shotgun microphone above my head that I rarely use because it's a condenser and it really picks up a lot of noise. This is a dynamic microphone, so they're not as sensitive. I will say this, the gain is maxed out almost on this. So be aware, I do not have a preamp on this to help boost the gain. I've been using it just out of the box in channel 1 of my Rodecaster Pro, though I am considering getting a preamp to boost the gain on this. The story is you have a little less noise if you have more gain. And so you're not cranking the gain in the Rodecaster Pro all the way, which can induce a little bit of noise. And so keep that in mind if you're going to use a Rodecaster Pro and you're going to use the the Shure SM7B. And so obviously microphone, lighting, right? The background where you're going to be. is super important. And then if you want to have more cameras, right, or you want to be able to show your desktop on the screen, then you're going to have to be able to have some tool to bring that in to your live show. Now, you could do that through OBS if you want to stream to OBS. So you could put your desktop on the screen. You could create a super source similar layout with you in one corner, picture-in-picture layout, and then your desktop like I showed you tonight. You could create that in OBS. You could create graphics in OBS, lower thirds in OBS. But if you want to be able to stream from an Atem, Pro ISO, Extreme ISO, then you're going to have the ability to bring those signals in. And I have 3 cameras in my studio, so I could cut to any one of those 3 cameras. And if I wanted to bring in my webcam, I could bring it in through OBS and then display that full screen, just like I would a guest. If I was bringing in a Zoom guest, I could bring him in full screen onto my channel 4, which is my desktop input from my laptop. So again, I could have a webcam on live right now. If I wanted to go through OBS with that webcam, I can go to my Skycam, even though it kicks off. Someone recently asked on a group I'm a part of, should you get a Canon 5D Mark III to live stream? And I've said many times I have one and it will time out just up to 30 minutes. So be aware, you got to turn it off and back on again. So kicked it off and back on again. And now I can bring it on the air if I wanted to. So there it is. And I just have it set up that size. I laid that out so I could add it over my intro. So again, multiple cameras. I have my camera number 1. So if I wanted to cut to camera 1, I can cut to that and turn around and wave at that. So again, having a microphone on a boom stand, so I could change my microphone settings and angle. I would bring this back light. It's my fill light when I'm using the other camera angle. I would bring this up a little bit and I would lower the other one if I was going to do the live stream from this angle. I'm not, so we'll cut back. So I'm at this angle, so I have this light a little brighter, and that light is just creating some separation. And so it's not quite bright enough when I turn around and face that camera. So obviously lights, audio, and video, and then how are you going to bring that into that live event? All of those are really important things to understand if you're going to go live. So that's really all I had tonight for going live. Just make sure that you work through those steps. I always tell the people that I'm mentoring or training that you want to practice. And so I typically will walk through those steps with the client and explain to them exactly what they need to do. I tune in to live streams all the time that other people are doing just to see what they're doing. I think the number one mistake that I wanted to say that I see people make is that they don't have an event set. They don't have it displayed on their channel. So if you're going to go live in Facebook or you're going to go live in YouTube, and we're talking about YouTube tonight, a lot of the steps are identical. Setting up an event, having the live stream still image ready to go. And so people can be aware that you're going to go live so that they can join that group. You can send out links. You can send out an email. Once you have that set up, if you don't set it up ahead of time, then you just suddenly go live, and the chances of having people on with you or knowing about it is very slim. So you want to give people a heads up. At least 5 or 6 hours is great. And then I put those links on my website. I put those links in my Facebook business page. I've done it on Twitter. I've put them out on Google business pages before. And I've even used blogs to advertise that I'm going to go live and put those blogs up on my webpage. for Life Journey Productions. So all of those things are really important. Make sure you don't make that mistake and not get that going on and getting it up so that people can find you. And then remember, the still image really is important. So what we've found out here in YouTube world is that still image make a big difference. So that's what people see first. And if it captures their attention, then they'll join. Not every topic is what people want to know about. Like, not that many people are interested in green screens, but some people are. Not everybody's interested in an Atem Mini Extreme. Some people are. TV just timed out. Sorry about that. So again, making sure you have a good quality still image to capture people's attention is important as well. And just make sure that you have everything set up before you go live, and you'll have less challenges. So practice makes perfect. And so you could even do some private test streams. Just don't make them public. You could delete them later, but it's a great way to get ready to go live. Okay, so let's see. So we have Maston Park. Oh, sounds good. Thanks for the reply. Hopefully you'll make a video on that HyperDeck setup. Yeah, I will be making new videos on my new HyperDeck. And you can also go back. I have a whole series on the HyperDeck Mini on my channel. So quite thorough video series. And it was funny, by the time I got that up there and people started watching it, that's when Blackmagic Design announced their new HyperDecks. And mine should be here before 8 o'clock tonight, and I will do an unboxing video here on the channel, and we'll probably talk about that next week, so stay tuned next week. Stop and Think. I would like to recommend a audio tutorial channel, Audio for Content Creators, hosted by Brian Miller. He specializes in getting the best audio for video producers. So yeah, so check out that channel. Kevin Crawley said, have you thought about using a matrix switcher, either one from Blackmagic Design or a non-production 4x4, 8x8? Yeah, I actually did, but decided that the cost of the one that Aaron Parecki has was just too much. So I had other things I wanted to spend that money on. I had this Atem Mini Pro, which solved some problems for me. But there are some really cool things you can do with those matrix switchers. I do have some switches in my studio that I use. So there are 2 inputs and 1 output. That way I can change a signal going to someplace in my studio. And one day I'll put out the diagram and you guys can see that. So those are 2 inputs with 1 output. They just have a button on them, and they switch from channel 1, channel 2, and then that's outputted to my studio. And so I use one of those on channel 6. No, actually channel 7 in my, no, channel 6 in my studio. And that changes between my streaming bridge and multi-view. So if I want multi-view in the live stream, which I can cut to multi-view here tonight, let's see, where are you? We decided that's channel 6, right? Yep. So I have this multi-view in that I can switch between that and my streaming bridge. Or I can plug something else into it if I don't want to have my streaming bridge because I haven't used it in a while. And it's another way I can bring a guest into my live stream. I just have not done any testing with it other than inside my studio. So Blackmagic Design makes the streaming bridge, and it's specifically for Blackmagic Design software. And so someone out there in the world who has an Atem Pro all the way up to the extreme ISO, and even the web presenters can stream directly to my streaming bridge. I have to give them a file for them to upload into their control software, and then they'll have my my streaming bridge as a place that they can stream to, and then they could just use whatever they have in their studio stream directly to my streaming bridge, and then I can bring that in. One disappointing thing about that is I'll get their audio, but we can't communicate through the streaming bridge. I still would have to have Zoom open, right, to talk with them. Or in my studio, I could potentially go a different route. And it really concerns me about delay and all that stuff, even though the streaming bridge has very little delay at all. It's just getting that conversation for the interview, because the whole point of having someone on your live stream is to communicate with them. So hopefully that little added response helps you out. So I did want to say, I think I have this. Let me fix this here real quick. So this is Scott Fixter. He has his own YouTube channel, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. I've learned OBS and how to create the timer, all of that, those steps I learned from his channel, and I have put a link in the notes tonight to his channel. And because I want to always try to shout out to people that I've learned from, and there's so many, I can't shout out to all of them. But I did a review today again of his video, just so I could do a basic tutorial of how to go into the tools icon, open up the scripts, which script to use, which is in OBS, and then be able to show you how to create that timer. You obviously could set it for longer than 7 minutes. You could set it for 12 or 15 or 3 minutes, all inside that setup when you fire up the script. You can choose colors. You can choose what text you want to have the timer attached to. And then I learned all that right here from his channel. So go check that video out in the notes. And if you want to learn how to use OBS, he does a very good tutorial, way better job than I did tonight, because I was trying to power through all of these different things that I wanted to say about going live on YouTube. And Facebook's very similar. Maybe someday we'll do a tutorial on Facebook, but most people that I'm dealing with right now are streaming live on YouTube. And I do have clients that stream both on YouTube and on Facebook, and I understand the reasons why. So again, I hope this helps you guys tonight. Make sure you check out his video. And again, thank you for those of you that create videos to teach people like me, teach the other people that are on live tonight, because how would we learn these things without just going through trial and error if we didn't have some help on there? So I wanted to give that shout out, and shout out to those of you on live with me tonight. I appreciate it. So I have a few more minutes for questions if you have one. So if you want to check out those matrices that he's talking about, go to Blackmagic Design. The disadvantage of those matrices, they're SDI out, and the Atems are all HDMI in. So you're going to have to convert them using one of the converters. You'd have to go from SDI out of the back of those matrix to HDMI. And then they also have SDI inputs. So that's great if you want to come out of your HyperDeck into that matrix, but you still would have to convert those SDIs out into your Extreme ISO, your Extreme, your Atem Mini Pro ISO, or the Atem Mini, if you want to get those inputs into your Atem. So cool device. Check that out on Blackmagic Design site. I will put a link tonight how to get to those matrices on Blackmagic Design site. So again, man, thank you so much, Bill, for the thank you. Kevin, for the thank you. Just again, one more time, thank you, Kevin, for being here tonight. Bill, check out these guys' YouTube channels. Kevin Crawley, Stop and Think. And so, I mean, we're on together a lot, so go to these channels and check them out. Masterpiece, thanks for joining us tonight. I don't remember if you've been on before. If you have before, I apologize for not recognizing that. Freddie, thank you for being here tonight. and look forward to you every week. And Craig, thanks for joining me from Fort Worth. And I think that's everybody, right? I said hi to Bill. So again, if you like this video, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I will have that unboxing video coming out. I still have some work to do on my pre-multiplied key video that I created. I wanted to do a special video for that. That'll be uploaded here in the next week, as well as at least the unboxing of the HyperDeck. And then I've got to start playing with it and get ready to do a whole new series on the HyperDeck Mini HD Plus by Blackmagic Design. So I hope you guys will check that out as well. And again, I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for being so supportive of this channel. And so now, as I always do, using Mix Effects by Atem Tao, he's the mastermind. And I'm going to hit the macro called outro. Until next week, when we have the HyperDeck in my hand, and you can check that out, the HD Plus. I will see you in one of the uploaded videos, and then I'll see you again live next Tuesday. Until then, be safe, keep learning, keep growing, and thank you for joining me tonight.